Hello, Lily Queen here. This is a tutorial to walk you through how to complete the tote bag. Okay, so this part shows one side of the bag done with pockets. So this particular pocket is going to be on the inside of the bag, and I have labeled that the wrong side. It means that this will be the right side of the bag, and the wrong side is right here. I have labeled the BOS and the BOS, and I put the pocket in there. So I'm going to show you how this pocket is created. Now this is the right side of the pocket. I'm using muslin so you can see the steps, but you can use, when it comes to using an actual fabric, you want to take note of the right sides and the wrong sides and how we work it. Okay, so this is the right side. We fold it about 3/4 of an inch or 5/8 of an inch, depending on how much of a pocket or how big a pocket you want it to be. Now we mark, or we're going to sew a 1/2 inch away from the edge. So I'm using the pins to position that 1/2 inch mark. Half inch is, considering this tape, the tape itself is actually 1/2 inch. So when I put it on, I just mark like that. Or this is 1/2 inch. Okay. All right. Now this has to be sewn. Okay. We give it a straight stitch. So I put it right there. And I align it so that it matches or is positioned exactly on the 1/2 inch mark. And I go back and stitch backwards to give it a reinforcement that I need. Okay. Always make sure you leave a good enough length of thread tail so that when you're starting the next stitch like this one, it doesn't run out of the needle. Okay. Go right back on that line. Okay. Same thing. Now I'm going to turn this inside out like this. I put my finger in and I turn inside out so that the whole hem of the top turns towards the wrong side of the pocket. The right side is cleaned out like this. You can use a pin or a gadget to make sure that the corners are sharp and out. And then this folds towards the back. Let me show. Okay. Now you realize that the sides can fold along the 1/2 inch position. And of course you can press it down, and the same thing happens here. It's also a 1/2 inch folded, and then when it comes to the bottom, we fold similarly 1/2 inch. It's not as big as the top, so we fold down. However, there's this technique which is called a mitered corner. We fold it in just to allow it to fall flat so that when we're stitching, it's not coming out on the wrong side like this. Oh, I'm sorry, on the right side like this. Like sometimes when you're stitching, things like this happen and you don't want this showing on your right side of the fabric, so, or of the pocket. So you fold it in, and this is called a mitered corner. And that is held in place by the pins. Okay, now I also need to put in a zigzag just like we have here at the top. So I bring it to the machine. I set my zigzag, which is in this particular machine, it's 04. It's like the 4th design. All right, okay. So over here, it's not the easiest to get the zigzag going well. So let me see. I'm going to give it a length of 2.0. Sorry, 2.0. Oh, sorry. And then I kind of feel my way through it. All the way to the end. And I cut. As you can see, it comes out not bad at all. And then I go back to the straight stitch, okay? And this time, I'm going to stitch it on. Well, I want the red to show throughout, so I'm going to, oh, did I just take this out? Let me keep the pin in. Okay. Okay, and I'm sewing straight. And this particular stitch seam allowance is 3/8 of an inch. When I'm getting close to the next corner, I keep the needle down, lift and turn, and make sure on this other side it's again 3/8 of an inch. The machine is jumping. Okay, so I take the pin out and make sure I keep it at 3/8 of an inch the whole time. I lower, keep the needle down, lift and turn. All right. And then I come all the way to the end, and I'm good to go. Okay, so my pocket is done, and I'm ready to put it on the other side of the bag. Okay, now this is one side, which is going to be on the inside. It's already put on. So the other back, or the other side of the bag, this is how I want to treat it. It's going to be on the outside, which is the right side of the bag. So let's assume this is my right side. I'm just writing RS on it. And the pocket is going to also be there. But this time it's going to show, okay? This pocket is going to show on the outside of my bag. Now, that means when I'm turning, when I join them, this line here on this other bag, side of the bag, will show. And the way to overcome this is to use a thread that has the same color as the fabric. But because it's a tutorial, I am leaving it there so you see that when we sewed this, it actually left an imprint on the back. When you're holding the bag, you can let this side sit on your body, on your person, so nobody sees it. But this is going to be showing on the outside. And generally, we would put the pocket from the top. I'll measure 6 inches and position my pockets there. But at the same time, I need the pocket to be equidistant. Now, this particular tote bag is not my usual 18 by 18. It is smaller than 18 by 18. So, and I measured the distance. I have 5.5 here and 5.75 here. So I'm going to shift it slightly to this side so I can have 5 5/8, and then 5 5/8. Perfect. All right. So now I go ahead and pin. I'm going to pin them in such a way that when I'm sewing, I don't have any interruptions getting in the way. Okay, position it flat. All right, and I have to remember not to sew this side. Okay. And this time I'm going to sew all 4 sides, pivoting at the corners, just like I did before with this. Okay, so I come back here, position it in such a way that I want to have exactly 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on the edge here. So let's see if I can move this guy close to this edge and then move the needle to the extreme right. And according to this machine, my extreme right is a 43. So the needle is actually in the right place. All right. And okay, so in the same fashion, when I'm getting close to the edge, I lift and turn and make sure that continue stitching 1/8 of an inch away. Then I stop and I walk my way through. Okay, lift, turn, put back down. It looks like I'm slightly, maybe one more step will be fine. So I lift and I turn and I'm good. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna go back to 0, 1. Lift and take it out. Okay, so now I can release the pins. And so here is my outside pocket in place. All right, so to complete now, I need to attach right side to right side of each other. Because I'm now going to complete or close the bag. To close it, we need to sew on the wrong side. That means right sides have to be together. And for the time being, the pocket that is going to be on the outside will be on the inside for now. Okay, this is the one that's going to be on the outside, but it's going to be on the inside briefly while I set up the bag itself to stitch a closed seam on the sides as well as the bottom. All right, so I'm ready to stitch 3/8 of an inch seam allowance